If you want to move something and adjust something in your posture, so move your shoulders, move your head, a couple of movements to feel at ease in your sitting position. And don't forget to use anything that is helpful for you to make your posture tall and proud and open and also comfortable. So the comfortable is a key word here. So finding a couple of adjustments that will help you to be able to sit in your chosen position comfortably for another 5 minutes. And we're going to take a couple of deep breaths through the nose and exhaling through the mouth, adding a visualization as an option. So inhaling and exhaling, letting go tiredness or other things that do not serve you, mentally or physically, and inhaling energy, inhaling strength and power and ease, and exhaling tiredness, irritation, or anything mental that may be not useful in your life. And after 3 deep breaths like this, we're gonna find straight spine, once again adjusting anything that needs to be adjusted, and we're gonna close the eyes. Allowing our breath slowly to return to its natural flowing rhythm. For today's meditation, we are not gonna introduce any control of the breath, so allow your breath to be where it wants to be. But knowing that the deep belly breathing helps us to relax and to settle inward, probably bringing attention to your belly and just feeling how your belly expands on the in-breath and how your belly button draws towards the spine on the exhale. Maybe you can feel how your body is being rocked by your breath, and how this process is effortless. The body is just breathing by itself. So trying to maintain this focus on your breath, and what happens quite naturally to many of us, and this is the nature of our minds, that the thoughts arise. So when this happens, we treat the thoughts as clouds on the sky. Like today, there is a blue, bright sky, and there are clouds passing by. And you allow the thoughts as clouds just to pass by, without thinking or paying your attention to the thoughts. And every time you notice that you start paying attention to the thoughts, you gently bring your attention back towards your breathing. So we're gonna continue just observing our breathing. And yesterday we introduced a focusing technique using the mantra during our meditations. So if in your experience it helped you to concentrate on breathing, help you to maintain a focus on one thing using the mantra, please feel free to use it today. And the mantra is Ham Sa, I'm that. So as you breathe in, you feel the sound of hum, and as you breathe out, you exhale Sa. And you do it silently in your head. Every time your mind wanders away to the things in the future or in the past, you bring your attention back to your breathing, to your mantra. Maybe as you progress in your meditation, will notice the moments, the periods when you have no thoughts, and your mind is single pointed on your breathing or on your mantra. And try to extend this moment, dwelling in this space you create. And that's the present moment. And in a few moments, after a couple of last breaths, observing the breath, we release our attention and we spend a moment to set our intention for this practice, formulating the centering thoughts for yourself in the present tense, in positive terms. I'm strong and powerful, I'm healthy, I'm loving. The intention is something that you would like to manifest more fully in your life, allowing your mind to focus on this intention throughout the day, even if you are not paying specific attention to it. And we repeat this intention 3 times, and once you've done that, we're going to open our eyes, allowing the lights and the sun flood in. And we're gonna start with our sequences of various exercises. So moving your shoulders up and forwards a few times, keeping the arms relaxed and reversing the movement. So moving the shoulders up and back, connecting the shoulder blades, and you can make it more energetic or slower. So being conscious what is happening and observing what is happening in your body, and try not to be judgmental. So if it feels stiff, just register it and feel how you can make it feeling a bit more loose in time. And then we stop in the middle, and this time we're gonna use asymmetric movements. So also helps us to concentrate our mind. So we start moving our shoulder, one of our shoulders forward. So we move the shoulder forward, and then we move our other shoulder backwards. And then we're going to connect these movements at the same time. So we move the right shoulder forward, left shoulder back. So it's a symmetrical movement. And see what this exercise does to your thinking process. Hopefully you don't have space in your mind to think about the past and the future, because you have to concentrate on the movement. And we stop and we change the side, so the other shoulder moves forward, and in my case right shoulder moves back, and then we connect the movement, so left shoulder forward, right shoulder back, and relaxed shoulders increasing the movement, and then we stop and shake everything. So if it didn't work out this time, never mind, it's just a concentration exercise. So probably you would like to recross your legs. Other leg comes to the front. Probably it feels also a bit more awkward. And then we place the left hand away from our left hip, right arm up, and then we start moving on the fingertips and start reclining over towards the left side, trying to keep the chest rotating towards the sky. So we have a lateral stretch, and we go as far towards the side as possible, and staying for a few breaths here, breathing deeply into the right rib cage, and inhaling, lifting up, and we change sides. So right hand away from the right hip, left arm up, dropping the shoulder, and moving sideways into this lateral stretch, trying to keep both sides of the rib cage long and the chest rotating towards the ceiling. So you're not collapsing forward like this, just keeping the chest really to the front and opening up. And exhaling, releasing, and we're gonna do cat and cow poses here. So placing the hands on your knees or on your shins, and we're gonna exhale and round the back, chin towards the chest, And inhaling, looking up, drawing the chest forward. So a few times you can also activate the breathing, so you can pump up a little bit of more energy if you feel like energizing. And you can also take it very slow, following your own breath, whatever suits you. And then we stop in the middle and we add some circling movements. So we move towards the right side, then draw the chest forward towards the left, and we move clockwise or counterclockwise, and then we change direction. So really feel your spine, the upper back, your shoulders in this, and don't forget to change the direction. And again, you can make it a fast movement if this is what your body asks for. You can make it slow and deliberate. And if you feel or hear any cracking in your spine, you are not alone. And then we stop in the middle and we shake our legs. And we are ready to move into our first proper yoga pose. And it's going to be a reclined butterfly. And we're going to add to this a little bit of extra for our toes. So our feet are in a diamond shape, so the legs are in a diamond shape, foot soles are together. And we're gonna first try to interlace the fingers with the toes. So look at your toes and just thread all of your 5 fingers through the toes. So it may be in itself quite challenging. And we're gonna move our toes with the hands, so maybe a couple of movements. You can also massage the base of the middle of your sole with the thumb. So if you have socks, of course, this will not work, so you have to see your bare feet, and they sometimes call this pose a manicure pose, so checking if it's time for you to learn how to do pedicure at home, because this is the only option nowadays. And then we release and we shake the legs. So the next stage is that we can add the same interlacing of the fingers and the toes, and then we're gonna go and extend the chest and relax our head towards the feet. You can also try to interlace the toes, and it's gonna be called a yogic handshake. So if you're interlacing your toes, you activate all the lower body meridians that end up in the fingers and in the sole of the feet. So if you manage to interlace, if it's not even perfect, you still get a nice action there, and we slowly go out to recline. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the arm, make it a passive pose for a few breaths. We're gonna allow the gravity to move our body forward. And as always, if your pelvis is rocking backwards, so if you're sitting too much to the back, feel free to sit on a blanket or on a cushion, so you can really have the sensation of the gravity taking you towards your feet rather than any specific muscular effort. If you remember the principles of all yoga postures, you have to feel something. So if you stop feeling anything there, maybe you would like to extend the chest a little bit and go deeper. Taking few deep breaths, maybe focusing on your belly. It helps to open the inner thighs and the groins even more here. And a few last breaths. And on the next exhale, we're going to place the fingertips on the floor and bring ourselves back to sitting. And we unzip our toes or release the fingers and the toes, and we're going to shake everything. And for the next pose, I'm going to show you a few variations, and it's going to be both for hips but also for the shoulders. So if you have a blanket, a cushion or something else like a towel that you can roll and use to sit on, that would be very helpful. So we're gonna bring the right knee in and the right foot back. So it's basically a half virasana position. So if it's completely uncomfortable, you can sit, or you can put something under your left hip so you're not falling completely backwards. If you're comfortable in this position, maybe you can sit with your both knees bent. So choose your option, it doesn't really matter. And if you are sitting in between your legs, so you can roll your calves muscles away so you can have more space. And again, sitting on a blanket or on a higher something like a cushion would help. So also moving some skin from the top of your knees and just give it few breaths without relaxing immediately. There should be no shooting pain in the knees. If you get any discomfort in the knee, you can choose to do just one leg. And if it's too much, adjust something that you are not straining your ankles or especially the knees too much. So hopefully we found our acceptable position for this. And we're gonna add the arms and the shoulders to this. So we're gonna bring the arms out. So right arm up, dropping the right shoulder, left thumb down, and we flip the left hand behind the back, and bending the right hand, we're gonna interlace the fingers. So if the fingers do not reach each other, we just grab a t-shirt or something else behind the back, and we try to sit straight. So what you get is this position. I will turn my back towards you so you can see it more clearly. So we wiggle and help ourselves to connect. And if you don't connect, we grab a t-shirt and stay here. And then we take a couple of breaths in this position, the last ones. And then if you were sitting in between your feet, or otherwise changing the side, and if you were sitting in between your feet, you would like to probably straighten your legs one at a time, so you give yourself a little break, your knees. And then we're gonna take this position once again. So if you are using only half, only one leg bent, then you change the sides, and otherwise finding again your position in between your feet, adjusting anything, moving the calf muscles away, moving the skin from the top of your knees. We're gonna bring the left arm up, right arm down, and we're gonna once again connect their hands behind and move the hands in this position. So we try to spin the left triceps forward and away from the left ear, and the right elbow moves down and behind the back. Few breaths here. And then we're gonna release. And once again, just shaking your legs if you were in half position. If you had both legs bent, then we're gonna straighten our legs for a moment. And then we remain, or all of us are gonna flip and turn to be in a tabletop position like me. So I have my hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and knees are hip width apart, hands are shoulder width apart. And what we're gonna do a quite deep back bend, so take it easy and take it slowly. And there are a couple of variations. Our hips stay exactly as they are, so we are not moving with our hips forward, we are not moving with our hips back. They're just staying 90-degree between the sides and the shins. And then we move on our elbows only, and then maybe moving all the way forward so we can have a deep bend in our back. And then maybe you would like to stay here, or you can bring your arms in the prayer position in between your shoulder blades. And if you have a cushion or something else, you can use a cushion to place your hands, the elbows on a cushion to deepen this back bend. And if it becomes too much, you can always move into child pose, so bringing your hips towards the heels and stretching out, trying to keep your spine quite long, but not rounding necessarily. So choose your option. You're gonna stay for a few breaths here. Breathing deeply. And then we're gonna all release into child pose. So wherever you were in this pose variations, we're gonna lower our hips towards the heels, and we're gonna extend the arms and lower our forehead on the ground. And if you would like to relax your shoulders completely, you can bring your arms behind, and you rest your forehead on the ground or on the cushion, allowing your shoulders to release completely towards the ground. And a few breaths here. And then we're gonna place the hands next to our knees and press ourselves up. And we are ready to move into our final spinal twist before final relaxation. So we move on our backs, and we're gonna bring our legs up, and then bring the right knee over the left knee, and maybe hooking the right foot around the left ankle, and then placing the left foot on the ground. And then we're gonna scoop our hips towards the right, left hand on the top of the right knee, opening the right hand towards the side, and allowing our knees to drop towards the left side. So you're looking into opposite side. If your knees, like mine, are dropping towards the left side, you are rotating your head to look over your right arm, which is open to the wing. And try not to hold your breath. Your knees do not need to come to the ground, so allow them to be where you are. Feeling it the most and still able to breathe. Few more breaths. And on the inhale, we bring the knees up, and we change sides. So if you want to shake the legs first, and then crossing the left knee on top of the right, and maybe hooking the left foot around the right ankle, and scooping the hips towards the left, and allowing the knees to drop towards the right, maybe right hand on top of the left knee, allowing your chest to be open, so maybe moving the right shoulder a little bit, so that you can feel that your both shoulder blades are on the ground. And settling in this twist for a few breaths. And on the inhale, we're gonna bring our knees back up. And before going into Shavasana, I invite you to draw your knees towards the chest and massage your spine. Clockwise, counterclockwise. And then we're going to release the legs one by one into our final pose, Shavasana, corpse pose, a pose of complete relaxation. So adjusting anything in your positions that you need to adjust. So feet are hip widths are slightly wider apart. The shoulder blades moving towards the center of the spine. The arms are on the ground, away from the body, with the palms facing towards the ceiling. You can slightly tuck your chin in, so you have a long, long neck and relaxed. We're gonna take a couple of breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Again, exhaling and visualizing, letting go whatever doesn't serve you. And we settle in our final relaxation. Being just silent for a few minutes. I will be silent too, so you will allow yourself to melt fully towards the floor, be relaxed completely. And in a few moments, we'll start taking deeper inhales. And start moving our fingers and toes, bringing the legs together. Arms over the head and giving ourselves a nice stretch. Maybe moving our head side to side. And you can still do all this without opening your eyes. And if it feels good, you can also draw your knees towards the chest. And otherwise, placing the feet on the ground, we're going to move to our right or left side. And we're going to stay there for a few breaths. And we'll never rush from this position to sitting. We allow our body to adjust, to feel the space around us. And it's also very healthy for the spine not to move immediately from the lying down position to vertical. So slowly we will press ourselves and find our cross-legged or any other meditation position you were assuming or is comfortable for you. And taking a few moments to readjust your body to make sure that you're sitting tall with open chest. Feel energetic lift from the base of your spine up to the head, up to the crown of your head. And we close our eyes and allow our breath to settle once again. And this is a moment to practice our ability to focus our attention, so recalling our intention for the practice and repeating it silently to yourself 3 times in your head. Allowing your mind to focus throughout the day. And maybe throughout the day your focus will naturally return to those things in life that you really want to manifest more. And you know, energy flows where our attention goes. So gently opening your eyes, welcoming all the light and sunshine into our life again in an external world. Namaste, be well, and see you tomorrow.